Hey, welcome YuBeeTV. It's your girl, Miss J, here with some special people. We got a new stage play coming down. It's called Someone Else's Baby. We're here with the playwright, Miss Diane Martin, and her husband, Mr. William Martin. And here is the plays. Come on over. Gotta get uncomfortably close. This is the plays. What will we call you? You're the leading character. You're the main man. He is somebody else's baby. What's your name?
Stephen Davis.
You hear that deep voice? Stephen Davis. He ain't nobody's baby. But we're here with Stephen Davis. What is your character's name?
I play the role of TKO, to Johnny Kalan Owens.
To Johnny Kalan Owens, TKO. He is the knockout of the show. You better believe it. So you guys gotta come check this out. We're gonna talk a little bit about what the play is about, what was the drive for it, what motivated the playwright to write such a deep play, and how Stephen feels about performing in such a, right now this is a sensitive topic that we have going on here in Chicago. We're losing our young men every day, and for him to be able to play the role of somebody who could really be affected by this situation is a powerful role to have. So we're going to talk to him and see how he feels about being in such a powerful position at this young age. But first of all, we're going to ask our playwright to introduce herself and tell us what was the motivation for this play.
Again, I am Diane Martin, and I'm an author, of course. I've published I guess 8 books, 6 of them were mine. My second book went international 3 months after print. I have a bachelor's and master's degree in English from Chicago State University. And the reason why I actually wrote this play, I wrote the book, was because in this particular time we have been losing quite a few young African Americans, not just males, but young African Americans to gun violence. And for several years, my husband and I have been monitoring how many people were being shot and gunned down. And my husband has started a, where he was tracking how many deaths in Chicago, and he was calling it the killing fields. And every day he will post on Facebook how many people were actually shot that day. And so during this exact same time, I wrote the book, but I didn't promote it. I didn't push it. It's unlike any of my other books. And, you know, it was a lot of other things going on at that time. So I published it, but I didn't promote it. And so a young lady had approached me, and she was, you know, telling me, Diane, we need to get your books into a play. You know, you have a choice between any one of them. Which one would you like to produce? And I said, I would like to turn Somebody Else's Baby into a screenplay. Right around this exact same time, we had lost Trayvon Martin. And so when we were looking at the numbers between, it was like 2010 up until now, we had lost like almost over 10,000 people in the city of Chicago to gun violence. Wow. And when you look at the numbers, when you're looking at 40 people a day, 30 people a day, you know, just being killed senselessly, you know, it's like, you know, we have to do something. And it's not enough to just march. And it's not enough to just, you know, pray. It's not enough for us to scream and yell. It's not enough. We have to actively be doing something. And so when I decided to write this play, I said, you know, what better way to get people to stop and listen, you know, than through entertainment. We like being entertained. Tragically, we do. And so what better way to get people to stop and really see how this is affecting our communities than to, you know, convert this book into a stage play. And that's what I did.
Wow. That's deep. That's deep. This is a subject that just about anybody who is from Chicago, lives in Chicago, or have family in Chicago is affected by this at some point. We're losing people's babies to a lot, not just bullets, but to drugs, to hate crimes. There's all kind of stuff going on, and you know, I just commend you for taking that on. Out of all your book choices, that's not an easy decision to make, because this is a sensitive conversation that's not easy to talk about. So I commend you for that.
Thank you.
And I commend you for standing by your wife. And I would like to know, how do you feel about her choosing this book and, you know, what that just does for the community or for yourself?
Interestingly, this wasn't the book that I thought would be a good play, but because she's written some fantastic books. But after she explained it to me and how she put it together, it's the perfect book, the perfect play for what's going on in our community. And it affected us all. It affected people in the play, and they can bring it home through the play. Somebody Else's Baby is a book that touches me because it touches me personally, because I lost someone in my life that was killed in Chicago. So when she wrote the book, and because of Trayvon Martin, we were marching at the time, it's a perfect choice.
All right, that's what's up. I actually marched in D.C. for Trayvon Martin. It was such a liberating experience, and, you know, again, why I commend you, because that's it's a very sensitive topic, and I've been around people of different races talking about it, and it amazes me how some people feel about that situation. A lot of people feel like they're glad that these young people are killing each other off like that. So to talk about it and put it out there and try to address some of these situations is what we need. And YuBeeTV, we got some powerful people right here. They're giving us what we need. Now let's move on back over here to Steven, Mr. TKO, Knockout. I want to know how you feel about this role. How did you come about getting this role?
This role, it's a very deep role. Like you said, it's sensitive, and it's an honor for me to portray someone who may have went through something like this. And I came across this role through my mother. I believe she was called out, or she found out about it through someone, and she told me about it. When she first told me, I was kind of iffy about it. I was being lazy that day, being a teenager. I was like, I don't know if I want to go to audition. And then she came in my room and she said, get up, get dressed, you going. And I was like, all right, can't argue with my mother. Came out to the audition, I did it. Dr. Martin, I auditioned for him actually, and he loved me, and he went to the back, talked to Ms. Diane, and then he came out, he asked, how long can you stay? I want you to go out in the back, read the script with a few of the cast, and from there it's been an awesome joyride with them.
Awesome, huh?
Awesome.
Oh man, that is just so liberating to see you. You're like loving it, you're in it. That's good. So how do you relate to this character? How do you make this character come to life?
Actually, it doesn't really relate to me personally, because I haven't lost a family member, but I did lose a friend last year. And so I just put myself in that mindset of where I was at during that time period. And then my friend who was murdered, his cousin was actually like a brother to me. So I was thinking where his mindset was at, and there was just a lot going on. So when I'm rehearsing for TKO, when I'm going over TKO's lines, I just really put myself in that mindset, and it actually helps me. It helps me portray TKO much better than if I hadn't been through something like that. So it's kind of bittersweet. I'm happy I went through something like that so I can be able to portray the story properly, and rather than not have been through something like that and give half performance on TKO.
Wow. So the young man here, what he's describing is method acting. He is a method actor, and maybe later on in his journey he'll understand what I'm saying when I say that and what I mean by that. But that's a good thing, because that's what that's the big stars do, method acting, and you have to take yourself to that place to actually get there. But you know, God wouldn't put you in this place if he didn't already have you prepared for it. So it's good that you were able to step up to it and own it, and especially enough to go in for one time and audition, because this is not a role that somebody can really make you feel like they're the person for it with one audition. You may not know that, but I know that this is a role where they had to make sure the right person played it. So it's good that you can hold that down. That's an awesome thing. So can you guys tell us where the play is going to be held, all that good stuff? I see it's in my neck of the woods, but give us a rundown of how much it's going to cost and where it's going to be held and all that.
Well, it's going to be held at Thornton Fractional South High School. We actually chose Lansing, and this is probably going to be not a good reason why we chose Lansing, because when we decided that we wanted to put on a play and we were looking at places in the city of Chicago, a lot of people said that they did not want to go to Chicago. And that's really tragic. Right now, Chicago is known as Chirac. When you have more people in Chicago being gunned down than actually in the war, that's bad. And so we had to look at a community where we knew that people could feel safe in. And so we're going to be holding a play at Thornton Fractional South High School in Lansing, Illinois. And we have VIP tickets at $25 and general admission at $20. The play starts at 6 o'clock. It's from 6 to 8 p.m., but we're asking people to get there at 5 p.m. because we will be having entertainment as well.
My take on that was that the trailer, if you check out our trailer on YouTube, Somebody Else's Baby, the trailer, and I've showed it to many people and I've gotten different responses. The response from people who have experienced this is much deeper. It's felt, deeply. When I first saw the trailer, I actually cried because it reminded me, it took me back. But when I showed it to someone who had not been through it, they felt it deeply too. It felt like their child was in this trailer. When you watch the trailer, it is a very dramatic experience for you, and you will feel it. Somebody Else's Baby, the trailer on YouTube. And my wife is right, correct about Chicago. Most people in Chicago have experienced it. When I do presentations and I ask kids in the group or how many people have had someone in their family or a friend, 90% of the audience would raise their hands. But when I go to somewhere where there's not happening, they would feel as if it was their own community under siege. So Lansing is a perfect place because it doesn't happen in Lansing as often as it happens in other communities. So the Lansing community needs to know, and all other communities around Chicago, what's going on. It's somebody else's baby right now, but it could be your baby.
Yeah. Definitely. And them babies are moving out to and we all know they on tearing down the projects, immersing the people from the projects all over the suburbs. So now the things that were only happening in the city are happening in our sweet suburbs now. So now it's some of y'all's babies. And that's why everybody needs to step up, because it's not always somebody else's baby. Sometimes that changes up. So is there anything else you want to tell us, how you feel about, the play, the role, anything you want to say to your friend, your people, your friends, your people, your family, anybody?
Shout out to all my friends and family, my support system back home, everyone who supports me. But no, seriously, this play is very touching. Anyone who comes out and watches the play, they'll be deeply touched, like Dr. Martin said. It doesn't matter race, your background, your story, it will touch you. Like, that's the type of play this is. It's a touching play. And I feel everyone line should be out the door come show night, because this is an awesome production. It should be wanted to be seen by any and everyone.
All right, y'all hear that? Line should be out the door. So you all need to be on the way. You need to be getting your $25 ready now. That's the VIP tickets, but still, get your $25 ready. We need all the donations that they can get. Every little bit helps. Just a little sidebar. But that's good. Boy, you guys see this? Some of our youth can speak intellectually. They can pronunciate. Some of our youth are out here doing positive things. Every black male, young male that you see in Chicago is not pulling triggers. And that's something that I commend you for as well, because if we don't show our young men that are like this, everybody's going to continue to have the perception that we don't have any young men like this. And I travel a lot, and I hear people, I get tired of people asking me really what's going on in Chicago and what's going on with our youth, because what they don't know is we have one of the only all black high schools in Chicago, Illinois, that graduates 100% for the past 6 years, 100%. Over 200 young men, and 100% of them are all going to college. All going to college. That's what they don't highlight. And when you take these steps, then people start to look at us. And then they can find out that, show me another state anywhere in the United States where they can say that about a high school African-American young man 100% going to college.
That's the thing. And you know, I used to work in the media. And it's really interesting how the images that they feed. We have a lot of income, not just black men doing wonderful and incredible things. I mean, we're talking inventing things, you know. But the tragic thing about it is that when you put them in this vacuum, you know, you create this level of hopelessness. When they start to see that none of them, you know, are living past 25, most of them are going to jail, none of them are going to college. Half of them are fathers by the time they're 20 years old. When you keep showing these images of despair, they start to believe it. You know, Eddie Murphy used to have this joke where he said, if you followed a stupid kid home, you'll find stupid parents. They tend to believe that this is what we produce.
This is Stephen Davis, a.k.a. TKO. Like I was saying before, I had a friend who was murdered due to gun violence in Chicago last year. A close friend of mine, went to school together. Me, him, and his cousin. Me and his cousin were like brothers. And I remember one night we were hanging out, family picnic, and we were having a good time, laughing, smiling, just a big happy family, a good time. And not a couple of weeks after that, I was at my dad's house and I got the call that he was shot twice in the back of the head, and it hit home. It really hurt me. It made me realize that no one's safe out here, because I was at the point in time where, like, well, I live in a good city. It really doesn't affect me. I got a good home, but it goes to show you that any and everybody can get hurt or get touched by something like this. And at that time, I was going through an emotional roller coaster. I was down at times, very depressed. Me and my friend, there have been times in the room and not talk for over, because we were just so deeply saddened by the situation. But, you know, it's life. It's Chicago, like they say. In other cases, Chirac. And that's the type of city we live in. So now I'm just going through the process of letting my story be shown through TKO, letting people see that TKO side of me, because in person I'm a goofy, silly person, but there is that TKO side of me that I do have, and I really appreciate Miss Martin and Dr. Martin for giving me the opportunity to show that TKO side of me, because it really doesn't get out, and this is really helping me cope with the murder of my friend last year. So it's a big help to me.
I am Diane Martin. My husband and I, a personal experience. Again, I did work in the media, and we used to hear about gun violence all the time. And I never forget one particular night we were at the desk, and we were listening to all of the police scanners coming in, and they were talking about, you know, people being killed in the city of Chicago. And it was interesting how when a person of color, Spanish American, you know, African American, when we heard that come in through the police scanners, we wouldn't move. You know why? Because it had got to the point where it was happening so much it wasn't news anymore. We became so desensitized to the fact that brown people were being gunned down that no one reacted. You couldn't even get the news to go out anymore. And so we were, at this exact same time, we were living in the Roseland community, and the gangs were getting bad, and people were being killed all the time. And I never knew about the experience that my boys had gone through until we were in the process of getting ready to move, when they had just left a house visiting some friends. And as soon as they came around the corner, we heard gunshots. And literally, they had shot a young man on his front porch that my kids had they had just left this house. It was that night that my husband and I decided that we were moving. Now, many African American families can't do that. We were just lucky to be in a position to do so at that time. So you have so many families who feel like they have nowhere to go, and they're trying their best to protect it. Fortunately, there are just people out there killing people senselessly for no reason. And so, you know, like I said, I took on this task, you know, because I want people to understand that black babies and brown babies, you know, their lives are valuable too. You know, I talk about this one thing in rehearsal all the time about purpose and legacy. And I talk about our purpose being, you know, we get up in the morning, we go to work, we get dressed, we eat, you know, we take care of our families, we do those things. That is your purpose. Your legacy is those things that you leave behind in the sand. At the rate we're not leaving much of a tomorrow for our children. It is our task every day to create legacies. My legacy is to help save our communities and to help save our babies. That is the reason why we created Somebody Else's Baby, because we want to do something before the bloodshed ends up at our door, before somebody else's baby become our baby. Again, I hope to see you guys Saturday, July 26th. Again, the play starts at 6 p.m. We're opening the doors at 5 p.m. VIP tickets are $25. General admission is $20. You can always view the trailer at Somebody Else's Baby, the trailer. And if you have any questions about tickets, please don't hesitate to give us a call at 708-560-3816. And group rates are available. Thanks again.